Hello and welcome to another episode of Brainsky Unleashed. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk personally. I've had some issues lately, and I want to share a little bit about that, talk a little bit about what I've learned, and talk about the experience that I've had.
Entertainment. Insights. Don't take life too seriously. Welcome to Brainsky Unleashed.
As some of you may know, I've managed to lose a lot of weight. I was 203 pounds about a year ago, and at 5'7", that's not very healthy. So I ended up going on a product called semaglutide because I was unable to lose any weight. I had tried everything. I tried dieting for years and exercise, and nothing was working. And so I went on this product, and it worked. I mean, I'm thrilled to report that right now I'm down to 159 pounds. I have just a little bit more to go if I can, and that's great. And then I'm going to be off the medicine. That's fantastic. Um, I'd also done testosterone replacement therapy. And that is just because as you get older, I'm now 46 years old, and those numbers kind of drop as far as how that works. And even though my regular medical practitioners felt that was a good level, I wasn't feeling good. And it's also hard to lose weight when your metabolism drops because you don't have really great testosterone. So I went on a therapy for that and was able to get those numbers up, which was wonderful. But some things happened in the process. As it turns out, with semaglutide, you get some acid reflux. And so I've been on reflux medicine for a while, Prilosec OTC, and I was having some reflux. And so my regular practitioner put me on a higher dose, and it was able to resolve the problem. And so I was feeling really good. And then with the testosterone replacement therapy, I had some issues with my blood pressure. And so I came off of that and trying to figure out what was going on with that. And the blood pressure is now stable. So hallelujah, things are looking great. But I was still having some problems. I wasn't feeling great. And so recently I had an appointment with a doctor. I had met this doctor at a business convention. I just happened to sit next to her. And next thing I know, she's up on stage. And she's different than anything I'd ever seen. She's an oncologist who also was a 20-year emergency room doctor who also believes in, combining natural medicine with modern medicine, old world medicine. And I think it's called integrative medicine. And so I reached out to her because I was also having some issues with a cold that I'm still suffering from, but now I'm finally starting to get better now that she's treating me. So this is, I'm just going to give you what this appointment sounded like on a telehealth call with her. The first time I'd actually had an official appointment with her. And I reached out to her because I knew I wasn't getting anywhere with anyone else locally. And so I had a problem. And so the first thing she started with was, tell me about the fact that you lost weight. She had met me when I was at my heaviest. And so she had asked me questions. At what age did you start gaining weight? I was like, well, I started gaining weight basically around like my mid to late 30s. And she asked me, did I have any changes in my life at that time? I said, well, yeah, I bought a dental laboratory. And she goes, okay, so that added stress. I said, I had a lot of stress. And then, of course, as I got a little bit older and weight started to come on a little bit more, we talked about that. And she said, well, what was happening during that time? So well, I had back surgery, I had children, newborn twins. And so she's like, okay, so that added stress. And so she was able to literally tell me right then and there, she goes, okay, well, a lot of your problems actually come from stress. And so stress affects cortisol, and I'm probably going to botch this, but it affects the cortisol levels, which affects your adrenaline, which then affects your thyroid. Therefore, your thyroid is starting to work a little bit harder, even though your thyroid numbers based on your, last physical are within a normal range, but that's not necessarily healthy. It's just within a normal range. And so therefore you've added weight. And then so she addressed the semaglutide, and she said, well, have you had any negative effects? And so I said, well, I've got acid reflux, and so like I said, I got the Prilosec. And as it turns out, she's saying, well, Prilosec or omeprazole, being the drug that it is now setting you up for some form of gastric cancer. Great. So the treatment that's meant to help me is now going to hurt me. And then she told me that based on my estrogen levels, because I was on testosterone, she asked me if I'd ever had any estrogen blocker when I was on testosterone. I said no. And she's like, well, I can see that with your labs because she checked my labs. And, my levels for estrogen are way high compared to where they should be, which now has me as a candidate for prostate cancer. So I'm basically sharing this with you because I'm currently I'm on a path trying to improve my health, And to me, it was so alarming as to what was happening because I was getting medical care from what I truly believe were very well qualified, and I'm sure they are well qualified, physicians, but they're not necessarily seeing the whole picture. And so they may be solving one problem while creating other ones and not even necessarily be aware that they're creating them. And to me, I just wanted to share that because if it's happening to me, there's a high probability it's happening to a lot of people. So I'm excited. Dr. Dalal has agreed to become a guest on my podcast, and so there will be a future episode where I can dig into things with Dr. Dalal and provide excellent content for you, my listeners, my viewers. But I at least wanted to share a very personal story because if it's happening to me, then there's a high probability it's happening to you. I at least would encourage anyone, if you're interested in learning more about integrative medicine or Dr. Dalal herself or things that she may be able to do for you, awaremed.com. Awaremed.com. You could learn all about it. I believe she's accepting new patients. Her whole thing isn't so much a family doctor who's going to give you some pills, when you have a cold. Her thing is, how can she work holistically and medically to give you the best, longest lasting, healthiest life? And that's a lot different from what I think we get from most of our physicians. So I hope you enjoyed the program today. I realize it's not a very long one, and I realize there's me sitting here babbling in front of a camera. But I wanted to pass that along to you. So again, and as always, really, if you like this show, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Give it a 5-star rating, because why wouldn't you? I mean, do I deserve anything less than 5 stars? I mean, let's be honest. A 5-star rating is the only thing you should ever be doing. And I look forward to providing you excellent content again on another episode.